Hello everyone, Ryan here. So for my first album review on this channel, I decided to review Hardwired to Self-Destruct by Metallica. And I realized, of course, I may be super late with this album review, but I decided to do it anyways, primarily because Metallica is in fact my all-time favorite band, heavy metal band, thrash band, hard rock band, just all around, in general, favorite band. Of course, I was first introduced to the music at a young age, I would say when I was about maybe 10 or 11, and this was during the early 90s, early to mid-90s, and an older cousin of mine introduced me to their music. I just immediately fell head over heels. I just immediately latched on to their music, and I've been listening to them ever since. So, without me rambling further, I'll just get right into it here. I'll talk about the tracks on here, and then talk about five of my favorites. So, on the first disc, and of course this is divided into two CDs. There is a deluxe edition that includes a bonus third CD that includes live recordings and some other bonus content. But for this review, I'm just focusing on just the basic 2 CD edition. So the first track is Hardwired, second is Atlas Rise, third is Now That We're Dead, fourth is Moth Into Flame, fifth is Dream No More, and sixth is Halo on Fire. And that's on the first CD. So as for the second CD, it starts with Confusion, and then Man Unkind, Here Comes Revenge, Am I Savage, Murder One, and last but not least, Spit Out the Bone. And that's all the tracks on the second CD. And as far as five of my favorites go, I will say, so my fifth favorite out of this entire album would definitely have to be Man Unkind. I do like that track. I know a lot of people aren't really fond of that track. Well, that's one of the songs that people aren't really that too fond of on this album. But I like it. It's got a nice groove to it. It's not very thrashy, but definitely it's got a very nice, hard, heavy kind of edge to it. I also like the music video for it. If you didn't already know, Metallica has music videos for every one of these songs off this album on their YouTube channel. I'll provide some links to some of those videos in the description down below so you can check those out. So Man Unkind is my fifth favorite. My fourth favorite, I would say, is definitely Now That We're Dead. I really like that song. I like the lyrics. Lyrics are definitely pretty poetic. James Hetfield is an awesome lyricist. Also, pretty awesome singer. So that's my fourth favorite, Now That We're Dead. My third favorite, I would say, is definitely Dream No More. I like Dream No More mostly because it reminds me of a lot of the stuff they did on their albums Load and Reload, which was back in the 90s. For me, it kind of harkens back to those days. Dream No More has a similar vibe where it's groovy and very hard-edged. A little bit of thrash metal, but not too much. So that's my third favorite. As for my second favorite, I would say Halo on Fire. Definitely Halo on Fire. I've come across some people who have said that, excuse me, some people who have said that Halo on Fire is their number one favorite. And while it's definitely an awesome song, for me, it's just not really my favorite. I mean, I like that Halo on Fire has some interesting rhythm changes. It's also got a nice groove to it. But ultimately, my number one favorite off of this entire album is Moth Into Flame. And I mean, for me, that song just like really has it all. It epitomizes everything that you would expect a Metallica song to have or represent. It's very thrashy, fast-paced, but at the same time not too fast-paced. And not only that, the guitar solo on this song alone stands out above all the other guitar solos on this entire album. I really like what Kirk Hammett did. In particular, his use of the whammy bar, otherwise known as tremolo bar, however you want to pronounce that. But yeah, it's definitely awesome. And of course, I will say the music video for Moth Into Flame is really nothing too unique. But I mean, it's just because it's them playing. There's a bunch of light bulbs around. They're kind of in this very darkly lit room, and there's moths flying around. But I mean, the visuals are, I guess you could say, aren't that great in the music video for Moth Into Flame. But the song itself is awesome, especially if you're a big fan of thrash metal like me, and especially if you're a big fan of old school style Metallica, back when they were still doing a lot of thrash metal stuff. So I mean, definitely overall, I give this album 5 out of 5 metal horns. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it does kind of suck that it took them 8 years to get this album recorded and mixed and mastered and finally released and all that. But it definitely speaks for itself. I mean, I think so. I mean, another thing, I don't think it's fair that a lot of people have been saying that, they feel like this is one of their worst albums, or and of course they're quick to criticize each member. I will say that I like what James Hetfield did with his vocals on this entire album. He definitely got very creative, added a lot of extra harmonies, and Lars, I would say Lars also did a very awesome job as far as the drums are concerned on this album. Not that I've never thought him to be a crappy drummer to begin with, though I know plenty of other people have, or still do. But yeah, definitely did an awesome part of the drums. The guitar parts too are awesome. Bass as well. I like what Robert Trujillo brought to the table with this album. The only thing I don't like, the only thing that kind of gets me is that Kirk Hammett wasn't given a writing credit for this album, not even on one song, and I don't think that's fair. I mean, granted, I know supposedly there was this whole thing that went on where he had like over 200 riffs recorded on his phone or something, and he lost his phone, and after that, they just ended up using all of the guitar riffs that James Hetfield came up with and wrote and recorded. Which obviously I guess you could say is a smart move when it comes to recording an album. And, who knows, they could have been on a very strict deadline. Either that or just the fact that, they decided not to let anything else delay them getting the album completed. But I mean, it could have been a whole slew of different things. But still, I still feel it sucks that Kirk Hammett wasn't given a writing credit, because he did ultimately record the guitar solos, even the different lead stuff. Because there is some lead stuff that isn't technically a full-on guitar solo, but still, you could tell it's Kirk Hammett, doing his thing. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm part of a very small minority that believes Kirk Hammett deserves some kind of writing credit for this album. If that's the case, then hey, it is what it is, I guess. So yeah, again, I do give 5 out of 5 metal horns, and that pretty much do it for this album review. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff if you feel up to it. Don't be afraid to follow me on social media. Links will be down below. As always, till next time, don't forget to keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.